In this set of tutorials, you'll be introduced to arrays. An array is a way to disaggregate your structure. It allows you to replicate common parts without having to use copy and paste. It does this by creating an identical structure underneath the same variable name. So for each variable, I have several identical variables under it. The shape of that underlying model structure or variable is defined by the number of dimensions. It can be one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, which we have to define all of our dimensions, especially the size of them, and then which ones are applied to each variable. Each individual value in that array is called an element, and we access an element using its subscript, which is also called an index, and that's given in square brackets. And we can have separate equations for each element in the array, or we can apply the same equation to every element. Suppose you own a chain of stores and you want to figure out the sales for all of those stores. So we have unit sales across the stores, the average price. We multiply those together, we get product sales. Now say you really want to know by location what it's like what are my sales by location? Well, in that case, we can just copy and paste, and we can say, okay, here's Boston, here's New York, here's Chicago. If I want to add another city, I can keep going, and then add all of these together to get the total sales. Anytime I want to change anything in here, I have to change all three of them. Anytime I want to add one, I need to then remember to add into total sales. Instead, we could use an array. We can define a dimension called location that has three labels: Boston, New York, Chicago. We can add another city by adding another label. And then we would turn every variable into an array that is one-dimensional by this dimensional location, so it has three elements. And as an example, product sales would then have three values: product sales of Boston, product sales of New York, and product sales of Chicago. Notice the square brackets to access the elements.